Communism, government, and innovation, levers of control. Decay, rebellion, bankruptcy, despair, humiliation, frustration, civil war, invasion, revolution. For much of the century, from the 1840s through the 1940s, China was out of control. So control for the CPC was and is a key concern. If its party, numbering over 90 million members, and if the country, numbering over 1.4 billion citizens, is out of control, how can it implement its plans? The CPC exercises control through patronage, discipline, mobilization, and policy innovation. Patronage. Unlike many personnel departments in many companies, the CPC's personnel department, the Central Organization Department, the COD, has real authority. It helps determine the career paths of China's leaders. Since the COD was set up just 3 years after the CPC was founded, the COD has been an important power source within the CPC. The first director of the COD back in 1924 was Mao Zedong. Today, the career path of a top-level cadre, a professional senior manager, often leads through the CPC itself, government departments, and state-owned enterprises. The government has a professional civil service reliant on exams for entry and key performance indicators for promotion, but the system is overseen by the CPC. There are about 100 SOEs directly under the central government. They are at least majority owned, and they are administered by the central government. As part of the commercialization, the CPC gave up direct control of the lower levels of managers within those SOEs. But the top positions, the board members, and the C-suites are effectively CEC COD appointments. If you are a high-level cadre, and you know that your promotion or the promotion of your ultimate boss depends on the CPC COD, then you're incentivized at least to thoroughly understand, if not to actively implement, the CPC's program. Hence, within the CPC, the government and the state-owned sector, patronage is an effective tool of control. Discipline. If patronage is the carrot, discipline is the stick. CPC discipline is an internal matter. The rule of law applies to the whole of Chinese society, and since the end of the Cultural Revolution 45 years ago, the rule of law in China, by which all citizens are held to a single standard, has risen steadily. But the releasing of economic constraints coincided with an increase of corruption. Corruption erodes public confidence. In the long term, restricting corruption is necessary for CPC survival. So the CPC reacted to corruption by increasing, from time to time, and not steadily, its discipline, leading the CPC discipline to ebb and flow. Most recently, the increase in discipline dates from 2012. The CPC's discipline is exercised through the Central Discipline Inspection Commission. The CDIC exercises extrajudicial authority over CPC members that are being investigated for corruption. CPC members fear the shuanggui, or double appointment. A double appointment is where they are ordered to appear at an appointed time, at an appointed place. It is extra legal detention with no formal charges or the chance of trial. The person of interest is simply held at the pleasure of the CDIC, and they're frequently subject to intense interrogation until he or she provides the evidence that the CDIC considers sufficient. For CPC members, shuangui is double jeopardy. The CDIC is a law unto itself. It incites fear into the hearts of those who tempt fate. As Wang Qishan, the former chief of the CDIC, said, heavy disciplinary punishment and significant position adjustment must be used in the minority of cases, and cases that require legal proceedings must become extremely rare. If a CPC member transgresses, if he is discovered, if he expresses a sincere change of heart and behavior, that is far more effective to the CPC and far more important for continuing CPC legitimacy than going through public trials. Public trials themselves would be an embarrassment to the CPC. If the CPC is seen to be morally upright, its legitimacy is strengthened. Mobilization. Political campaigns are central to the CPC's history. Since liberation in 1949, there has been the campaign to exterminate the landlords, the campaign to suppress counter-revolutionaries, the anti-rightist campaign, the Great Leap Forward, the Let 100 Flowers Bloom campaign, the campaign to wipe out the four pests, Learn from Lei Feng, the Party Rectification campaign, and of course, the Great Proletarian Cultural Revolution. In recent years, Xi Jinping's anti-corruption campaign and the China Dream and appeals to patriotism echo the movements of the past. If a movement resonates with public opinion, the CPC can mobilize the people. Policy innovation. The CPC is conservative, but look at the changes that it has implemented since 1949. It is innovative, and those innovations have allowed it to maintain control. Innovations are usually incremental and reversible, yet they are relentless. Top-down guidance, bottom-up experimentation, and feedback. The CPC has been effective in setting goals, incentivizing innovation, restructuring, and moving forward.